I think Assembly is homegrown, your go-to minimal yet functional luggage brand, which is about solving consumers' travel issues and giving you a seamless experience.
Hello and welcome to another episode of It. My name is Sanjay Chakrabarti. I'm the founder of Tag8. Today's guest is someone who is giving established players in the luggage market in India a run for their money. I'm absolutely delighted to have with me Mohit Garg, the founder of Assembly Bags. Mohit, thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Sanjay. It's a pleasure talking to you here.
Mohit, jumping into the format of the show, the first question, one breath, who is Mohit?
I love to balance things. I think I love balancing my personal life, my professional life. So I'm somebody who's always aware of living in the present. So what defines me? I mean, if you look at my phone also, what I've written on the my screen is present, so that I can always stay in the present while I'm learning from the past, what I'm building for future. But I like to be in the present. I think that's what defining. Otherwise, I love traveling. So, I feel very grounded when I meet different people and different culture altogether. So, I mean, that's what make me keep running for things I want to do.
Super. And being in the present is a very, very deep thing. I guess that is the secret sauce of life. But let me get to the second question. One breath, tell us something about Assembly Bags.
I think Assembly is homegrown, your go-to minimal yet functional luggage brand, which is about solving consumers' travel issues and giving you a seamless experience.
And Mohit, I must immediately get to that point that, especially in your segment or luggage segment in general, the Indian market so far specifically is served by a lot of imports, and especially from China. And from what I understand in your case, it's practically the reverse. I don't know how much you import, if at all. How do you see that playing out? How do you see that as an advantage? Where do you see that in future going through?
So most of our products are reverse engineering in India itself, and which is definitely a task because you look at the manufacturing capacity and the capability of India, it's still growing. And with China being that one country which has been producing technical products from last 40 years, right? It's been ruling and dominating this industry well. So I think we have taken that charge saying that can we pick something which we can produce ourselves, which we can let's say do our research and development into. So I think we kind of also realize that it might not sound great in the short term while we are struggling to find the best material or best aesthetic or best design. But I think the long term, what happens is that once you have a strong engine of rotating it well, you can actually understand your consumers and produce something which they like it. And when you're importing from China, I think you're always dependent on how your supplier is reacting on the feedback. But for us, I think what is totally important is understanding consumer and building it for them, where you could be just as open as even interacting to different factory for a different product. In sense, one factory in China is producing, let's say, a hot top luggage. We never would like to put a soft bag inside it, but we as a R&D or design company can think about it. Like, how do we add a lot of value, even if it's not expertise, to bring out, being expert in 2, 3 industries and then create a product rather than becoming expert in one industry. So, I mean, there is definitely a lot of leverage when you're kind of working with the Indian factory or developing something of your own. I think supply chain, that the time period takes to get it from China is also one big issue. So I mean, maintaining that kind of inventories is never the issue for us. I think second is if you import a lot of quantities and you find some kind of understanding from consumer that this is what they didn't like about it, it's difficult to again, you have to sell that quantity at least first before you kind of iterate in the next production lot. So I think finance, inventory, just having a strong understanding of the product, customer feedback. I mean, there are four five
And I
advantages
guess
when you're
even in that is the R&D ability to do your own R&D and keep moving with that kind of goes in. And I think with what's happening currently around the world, I think a geopolitical risk for any company would be really big when their supply chain is highly dependent on another country, and especially if the country is not in the best of terms as far as the home country is concerned. And that's true for any country that you pick up in the world, I guess.
correct. It is, it is. I mean, if you look at, I mean, how BI is being put to many categories like toys, shoes. I mean, you never know when one day government can wake up and say that I'm putting this BIS norm even to luggage industry, and as soon as that will start happening, and they're not the one who's actually issuing it to China factories first. They're going to India's factories first. So it's very
Right,
difficult to tackle that kind of situation. And
right.
even the sentiment between country can go. I mean, you look at the current example of Bangladesh. I'm pretty sure that it might have led to some kind of economical and little bit changes in the how the trade is happening.
Why the bag segment, which had has basically these big players, whether you talk of Samsonite, VIP, Safari, so already pretty much dominated, and for years it's not like a small time play. Why is this time right? Because not only your brand, we are seeing other brands come through. What has suddenly happened that has made these brands so appealing to the next gen?
See, everybody, all these brands you mentioned have done great job from last so many years. I mean, they justified the industry by giving the kind of I think the varieties of luggage, or they are the one who've been out there and selling it well aggressively, and these traditional brands are done really well from last 20-25 years. But I think what has changed over time is the shift in consumers behavior. I think if you look at luggage 10 years back, you would always see this as a family luggage. Like, I just
Mm.
it's a commodity which I need to carry, right? It's like a industrial wardrobe. It's
Mm.
like a wardrobe, right? Which you just want to carry,
Right.
put your clothes and travel with. I think from last many years, what has changed is that now it's going into a fashion industry. It's going into a
Mm.
lifestyle industry where you also want to see how is this making me how is it extension of my personality. How in
Mm.
luggage, when I'm actually carrying it at airport, I should feel that it has those features. It has some kind of advantage I can have if I'm a frequent traveler, or if I'm also even thinking to travel with my group of friends. I should be carrying something which is resonating with my personality. So the whole consumer behavior have actually moved to the level where you have to start thinking about consumers, because I think all these great companies have been thinking about satisfying their distributors, satisfying their dealers, satisfying the whole supply chain. Let's say convincing all the gatekeepers of offline market to convince them to keep their products. I think understanding consumers is a different ball game altogether, where you don't have to represent yourself coming from the industry. It could be just about just knowing how they like to travel with it. So I think having a very raw information of your consumers can actually help you to build the right product, irrespective of what category you are.
No, really interesting. Mohit, getting into the next question, is any life lessons you've been, in business with Assembly almost 6 years now, and before that another 6 years, working in your family business. So, what is it that you would say that one big lesson that has come through in the last 12 years?
I mean, COVID has been a great lesson for everyone. I think in that time that your life uh, can rotate in a month. Like you would not know, what the goal you have set. It can kind of shape into anything, and you have to be flexible to again stand up, think fresh, and start taking understanding from market and what's going on from scratch. I think my biggest learning is that while you're managing different departments and team, what I realized is that it's while you're working with them, you realize that people are so different when it comes to even the same idea. The outlook could be so different, the viewpoint and the dimension could be so different. So you have to kind of wear their hat to even understand it. Let's say if you're talking to somebody who's very creative, so that same idea has to be looked from different dimension. It can't be
Mm.
only the analytical way to judge things. It has to be the combination of both. I think
Right.
so. I generally like to spend time with the creative team also. Generally, my like our performance team also, so that one gets to understand different dimension of handling the same thing differently.
Super. Uh, Mohit, getting to that one thing that you do in your personal life that has really helped you. Any habit that's helped you in your professional life?
I think taking break. I think I love just I love to snap out from what I've been doing. I mean, if I'm really engaged in my daily task and goal setting over the weekend, if I'm learning an instrument, I think I kind of give me a kind of break, which helps me to again look at the things from a fresh idea. Otherwise, if you keep churning, thinking about the same idea again and again, you tend to go back to the same base. So I'm taking a break. It's even comes to traveling, and I mean traveling and music kind of are two of my favorite things, which I generally end up doing when I'm not working at all. So I think taking those break or knowing uh, knowing like finding a passion which you generally which will make you little bit shift from your professional life for a few hours itself will be a game changer in your overall conduct of life and business.
Interesting. Interesting. So, Mohit, last question. Assembly bags 8 months from now and 8 years from now.
Right. I think in 8 months we definitely want to be 2x of where we are in terms of our revenue, in terms of efficiency, in terms of what people think about us, how impactful are we when they're actually using us, and I mean customer love is we definitely want to kind of get to the we're generally tracking our NPS, how what people think of us, what kind of reviews our people are kind of writing in sense of what kind of words they are using. So we are pretty much noticing each and everything about, and we're also looking at the subjective goals rather than objective goals. So I think becoming 2x of where we are is would be our 8 months goal. At 8 years, I think assembly expectation from assembly would be that we would want to become a go-to lifestyle brand when it comes to travel. Like anything you think of travel, like assembly comes to your mind. Like if I'm traveling to, let's say, Bangalore to Coorg, so can I think of buying a nice backpack and a sling bag and a target tracker with me, where I know the story behind assembly is that they provide minimal yet functional products, which can be and that vibe can be added to all the subcategories when it comes to travel.
Perfect. And Mohit, let me give you some feedback. And we've been it's been really good working with the entire team. And clearly, when we work together, it's not like working with a bag company, but it's more like working with a creative team from another. It could almost be like it's more like creative discussions that happen more than anything else. So, which is very refreshing and different. So that pretty much also stems from your mindset on how you seeing the brand grow. But I love your minimalistic style with the functionality that comes with it. And I feel that maybe I don't know whether it's just my way of looking at it, but I really, really like how your bags are just simple, nice, but very attractive at the same time. That to me at least works very well with the way I would like to, carry my things in.
I think that's great. That's good to know. I mean, these are the words which we generally look for, where you're not you're not trending out of the fashion, but you're thinking it as a classic product which you can use it for good 3 5 years. So I think it has to be something which is, I mean, it's not. So we don't try to crack something which is which is good enough for 6 months. We kind of have to create product which people use it and feel very confident when they use it for good amount of years.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So, Mohit, it's as I said, it's been absolute pleasure talking to you. And so far we've been working together, and really excited with our partnership and what we are doing with it. And look forward to catching up soon.
Perfect. Same here. Thank you, Sanjay, for doing so.
Thank you so much for coming in. I
Yes.
greatly appreciate.